stuff like that. Danny, you guys have any questions about anything, Overwatch based or anything like that?
Should I play a specific character during the
No,
session?
no, it doesn't matter. This is a communication lobby, so I'm not worried about how good you are on anything. I don't care. This is all about working on communication and getting your communication consistent and stuff like that. So that's kind of all I'm really worried about. So if you're on these roles and stuff like that, I don't care if you're hitting all your shots and stuff, but if you can't communicate who to focus or what else to use or people load health targets, stuff like that, if you can't communicate that consistently, I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. So that's what this lobby's focus is first. So just kind of keep that mindset as we're going along and stuff like that in the lobby. So good question there. Any other questions anybody has? No? Okay. Then let me go ahead and start the timer. So like I said, welcome everybody to the lobby. I'm gonna go over a little bit of things of how your hour and a half is going to be spent. I already started the timer and stuff like that, so we're gonna be good for time and stuff. So first off, the first 7-12 minutes is going to be me explaining the 3 separate roles of communication, and then telling you guys what you're going to be doing on them, how you're going to do them better, and stuff like that to kind of give you an insight on how this lobby is going to kind of work when it comes to the communication. Then after that, we're going to be picking our roles, people who want to do these communication roles and stuff, and then changing some settings around. And then usually after that, the last phase is usually around an hour and 10 minutes long. That's going to be mostly playtime. And then after every match, for the first 2 or 3 matches, depending how long they last, I'll be analyzing what was good, what was bad, what we need to work on between these roles and stuff like that. Toward the end of the lobby, if we have enough for 2 or if we just have enough for 1, I will no longer be there for communication. I will just kind of be there listening and having you guys rotate your comms correctly and stuff like that. So hopefully that explains how the lobby is going to be working. Did anybody have one last question or something that I may have not have gone in detail on anything on the lobby or anything like that? Just in case. If not, I'll go ahead and get started on the 3 roles. No? Okay, so the 3 roles, there's 3 basic communication roles in Overwatch. You have your shot caller, you have your target caller, and you have your ult tracker. Say these in a specific order because these are the order that they're going to be talking in. So your shot caller is going to be the first one to talk, and then what that means is, like, as soon as the map loads in, hold on, sorry, as soon as the map loads in, that's when you want to be talking, whoever our shot caller is. You're going to be telling us what we're going to be playing, and making our team comp first off. Overall, what a shot caller's job is to plan to win. So you need to be constantly thinking about what do we need to do to win, and that's going to, there's a lot of factors that you're going to be doing, looking at to try to win. First thing is going to be team comp, because you got to at least start with a good team comp. Next thing, and I'll do this from the first thing to kind of the last thing throughout the fight and stuff like that. Thank you, Confetti. But anyways, so the first thing is going to be team comp. After you do your team composition and stuff like that, you're going to give a little bit of pathing / play style on if there's anything specific you want us to do with this team composition. If it's not, and it's something just kind of standard or something like that, then feel free to just, you don't really need to say anything. Obviously, if it's like Ryan Zarya and McCree or something like that on King's Row with Lucy, then we probably don't need anything specific on the team comp because everybody already usually knows how to play that, right? But if we're running like a sim teleport strat, then yeah, you probably want to let us know where we're going to be teleporting and stuff like that, so we can all kind of be coordinated with a comp playing like that. Next thing, and this is going to be kind of mid-fight, what you're going to be saying as a shot caller, is going to be calling your engages and disengages, or calling if we need to continue engaging or if we need to disengage. This is going to be very crucial so that fights do not last for so long. Usually the biggest key factor on this, as a shot caller, you want to be looking at your kill feed, and then if we lose 2, we can still keep engaging, and we can also disengage. It is completely up to you, and depending on how much time we have left and resources and who died and who stayed alive, all that type of stuff, it really depends on what you want to do. But you have to let us know something. because when it gets to 2 kills, we can still win in some situations, and sometimes we need to back out and reset. On defense, it may be better for us to continue engaging and dying on cart so we can stall out the payload and stuff like that. Other situations, it may be better for us to die super quick when we're on attack so we can get more fights in. All these things you have to think of and let your team know what you're wanting to do. That's a big thing when it comes to shot calling and stuff like that during the fight. And the last thing that you're going to be doing is going to be ultimate managing. So this is just pretty much after the fight's over and after alt tracker talks and stuff like that, you're going to be telling us what alts we're going to be using, if we're changing up any play styles, anything like that. And the big thing here overall is just kind of like telling us what alts we need to be using. And you don't necessarily need to tell us when to use them or something. If we have the alts before the fight and you're making a plan with it, that's pretty much all you need to let us know. So if we have 5 alts online, all you gotta tell us, hey, we're gonna use this alt and this alt, and then we can follow up with this alt if X alt does not get anything. Okay, so that's simple. Now a little pro tip when it comes to shot calling and stuff: don't tell us why, because nobody cares. All we need to know is what we're doing. So if you need to have us switch to a specific hero, just tell us what hero we're switching to. If you need to have us changing this playstyle, then go ahead, tell us the playstyle we need to swap to. If we're using certain alts, we don't care why, we just need to know what alts we're using. So just kind of keep that in mind when it comes to shot calling and stuff like that. Keep everything short and sweet, and that's kind of the overall theme of everybody. Now next up is going to be your target caller. So your target caller is going to be talking midway or when the fight's starting or to engage a fight. As soon as our target caller calls a target, that's when we all need to invest our resources, cooldown, stuff like that on killing that target. Anything before that, then you definitely don't need to go in or do anything else before that. Sorry, somebody sent me a message. I thought I had Discord stuff disabled, but I guess I don't. But anyways, so once our target caller calls a target, we all need to go in on that target and focus that target down if you're able to. And then if we don't call anything, then we're just kind of waiting for that call to be made. So now there's 4 things that you're going to be looking at to call better targets. And these things are going to be labeled from the most uncommon and hardest to call to the most common and the easiest thing to call. So most uncommon and the hardest thing to call is going to be low HP targets. So low HP targets are not going to be super common, just because you're not going to come out of spawn, get ready to start the fight, and somebody's going to be 2 HP, right? That's rarely going to happen. So that's going to be not super common and stuff like that. That's going to be something that's mid-fight or DPS gets shot off or something like that. Next thing is going to be position. So somebody's out of position. Either we make them rotate and somebody gets out of rotation somewhere, or somebody's in a back line or something like that. Any position errors that you see on the enemy team or you hear from the rest of us, then you can go ahead and call that out so we can focus that down as well. Last thing, or third thing, is going to be abilities used. This is going to be pretty common. Every 6 to 8 seconds, and abilities usually coming online. So if you see abilities getting used, go ahead and call that out so we can focus that target down. And this goes for abilities used by our team and by the enemy team. So if we get an anti-nade off, or they use bubbles, or let's say they use Morphade or Reaper Wraith, or somebody's hacked, or somebody's hooked, or anything like that. Any of these things you can always call out for your team to focus stuff down, because you know they don't have that ability online. And like I said, these things are going to be super common. Next thing is, this is going to be the most common thing and the easiest thing to call. It's calling out targets that everybody on your team can hit. Obviously that's kind of a given, but you would be very surprised how many people say when they go to call targets, what's the best target to call? Oh, call the supports first. Why the fuck are we going to call somebody who's in the back line when our team still has to deal with the stuff in the front line? So easiest way to do that is looking at your least mobile and closest range hero and calling targets that they can hit. So if you're Ryan, so examples of these heroes are going to be like Ryan, Briggs, Zarya, McCree, Moira, Reaper, May, stuff like that. If they can hit that target, everybody else on the team should be able to hit that target as well. So look for those situations. and just go for there. Easiest way to do this is like if you're Ryan swinging on somebody, you don't know who to call, just call whoever Ryan is hitting. If Ryan's hitting this person, just call that target and then go for the next one. Just call the least mobile and closest range hero on your team, call targets that they're hitting. Now, a little pro tip and stuff when it comes to calling targets is make sure you're repeating the name over and over and over again, giving out location after a certain amount of time, and abilities used after it's been about like 2 or 3 after about 3 seconds of calling. If you feel like nobody's on that target with you, make sure you're calling that out for that. And then this is another one that's been happening a little more frequently, is you don't necessarily need to be shooting at the target you're calling. The main goal of a target caller is literally to guide your team to focus that target down. So keep that in mind. That is a very key thing. You don't necessarily need to be alive, or you don't need to be shooting the target. You don't need to be doing, you just need to tell us who to focus, and you guide us to that target that needs to be killed, and then you guide us to the next one, you guide us to the next one, stuff like that. So keep that in mind when it comes to calling targets. The last person that's going to be talking is going to be our alt tracker. Our alt tracker is just going to be tracking enemy ultimates. There's going to be 4 things that you're going to be looking at as well, but these are not going to be listed in any particular order. And this is going to be the first thing is going to be like kill feed. So watching kill feed. So somebody showing up with the kill feed, they probably have a little higher alt charge. And when I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it is the enemy's alt charge that you're watching, not your own teammates, because we can see our own alt charge. Watching kill feed. Looking at who's on fire, because just because they didn't show up in the kill feed doesn't necessarily mean they didn't get a lot of damage off and just didn't get credit in the kill feed. Next thing is going to be looking at mirror matchup. So if it's a Ryan v Ryan on your team, on your team and the enemy team, then and our Ryan's at 80% or something like that, you can probably assume our Ryan or their Ryan may only be at 60 if we won the fight or something like that. So keep that in mind. Next thing is going to be and this is more, the last two kind of work together. So mirroring your team, and then also kind of paying attention to what's going on around you. Literally taking a step back, looking at who's getting a lot of damage off, how long the fight's been going on, where the DPS and stuff have been positioned to get more damage off. All these factors you just want to kind of pay attention to kind of see who may be getting a little faster alt charge, or who's been playing way more aggressive and stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right. So other than that, that's pretty much it on the 3 roles. So does anybody have, also, I need to go into what everybody else will be doing during these phases, but I'll go over that in a second. Does anybody have any questions over any of the stuff that I might have covered, or stuff that you had either want more detail on, or something else?
No, the only thing I'm just curious on is there's specific people assigned to each of these roles, and
Yes.
on top of that, anybody can make an ult call out, or say I'm like playing main tank and I am shot caller, but I can call out ult charge if I have a feeling like their Ryan has shatter.
Yes. Okay. So for your first question, does somebody specific have these roles? Yes, somebody specific will have these roles. For your second question, it's specific for this lobby in particular. Yes, on teams, yeah, you'd probably have multiple people calling out ults, or something like that. Everybody can call stuff out, but in this lobby specifically, I want people to work on communication and thinking about all 6 people. So I'd prefer not to have anybody try to interrupt the alt tracking. I want that person to think of that stuff on their own and make those decisions that way. So just in this lobby particularly, I want them just doing every role. I want every role doing their own role. I don't want any meshing of roles. Hopefully that makes sense. So good question though. All right. Now let me tell you guys what for the other 5 people that are not in these roles during this phase. So like I said, your shot caller is going to be talking before fights and when the map starts. So if you're not one of the 5 people that is shot calling, your job during that for your communication is to shut the fuck up. That is all you need to do, is literally listen to your shot caller and what they're saying so you can make the play and get in position and stuff like that. And that doesn't mean you're shooting and doing other stuff. That means you're literally sitting in spawn and waiting for your shot caller to say, all right, we're going to do this now, or we're going to blah, 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 or let's go again, or try it again, whatever. Your shot caller needs to communicate with you, and you can't hear that if you're constantly fighting and doing shit all the time. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, now during the target calling phase, during the team fight, this is where you need to be talking the most. You need to be telling your team what you're seeing, abilities that you're seeing, low HP. You need to be relaying as much information as possible to your target caller so that they can make the best target call, right? So if they are calling out, if they're calling out something, but you see somebody's in the back line that's low HP, relay that information. If you're relaying information, you only need to say it one, maybe 2 times. You don't want to repeat it over and over and over again. So just kind of keep that in mind. Try not to repeat relayed information because you don't want that to be confused as target calling and split your team's focus on what's going on around you. Okay, if your target caller calls it, then cool. If they don't, oh well. Last thing is going to be our alt tracker. When the alt tracker is talking, your job is going to be literally the same thing as when our shot caller is talking. Shut the fuck up. That's all you're doing, is literally listening to the alt charge that's coming in, that they're saying that they're going to have, so you can change your play style up and be ready for whatever is going on. So just kind of keep that in mind when these 3 roles are talking, what your job as the other 5 people are. All right, so now we're going to get to the fun part. So everybody mute your mic or don't say anything, don't type anything, nothing needs to be said for right now. I'll go ahead and open up comms in a second, but for right now, all you gotta do is listen. So this part is going to be called roll call. How this is going to work, I'm going to ask, hey, does anybody want any roles? If somebody wants any roles, then first come first serve on who wants to be any of the 3 roles that I was previously talking about. If nobody says anything, I'll go in order from the shot caller. Does anybody want to be shot caller? I'll say going once, going twice, and then I'll pick somebody based off of what did I just say, Kimmy?
You said you asked to who wanted to be shot caller.
What did I say, like literally 30 seconds ago?
To shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so why are you talking? I will open comms when I'm done talking, okay? Because I want everybody to have an equal playing field. Alright, so, anyways, if nobody says they want to be shot caller, I'll say going once, going twice, and then I'll pick something, and then we'll do that for the other 2 roles. So that's how that'll go. These roles will be staying on the same person through the duration of the lobby. So just kind of keep that in mind. We're not going to be swapping any roles up and stuff like that, because I will be analyzing and saying, hey, this is what we need to do and stuff like that to get things better. So just kind of keep that in mind if you are going to be picking a role and stuff like that. Nobody here I expect to be super great at any of this, so don't be discouraged if you are doing bad and stuff like that. It's better to do bad here where I can help you out then try doing it on a scrim or a competitive match and fuck up and then you don't know why and people slamming you and stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so now I'll go ahead and open up comms. I'll go ahead and ask you guys questions. Does anybody want any roles?
I'm looking for ult charge. Call out ult charge.
Okay, so Snarls.
I'm just wondering, Snarls, are you gonna play only? Because I kind of want to play Orisa, but if you want to play Roadhog with that, then I'll do shot caller. But if you want to play main take, I don't want shot caller.
I'm personally not too fond of Orisa.
Okay,
Hog
so
right now.
does anybody know how shot caller works? So you're confused on the team comp durags, asking about.
I could be shot caller.
Well,
Okay.
I just if I'm playing Orisa, I want to be able to shot call all of my sucks and stuff.
Yeah, you can do that. Why can't you call those?
I guess.
You don't have to be shot caller.
You don't have to be
just
shot
call
caller
an
to talk.
ability.
Yeah, you don't have to call. Yeah, you don't have to be a shot caller to call it an ability.
Like, not everyone's gonna be silent while the shot caller does everything.
Yeah.
Shot call is just kind of giving the pathway that we're gonna take to victory.
Yeah, I named
Yeah,
the
I'll be
I
back
named
in,
the
like,
main
a
things
minute.
that the shot. Who does not? Was you guys not paying attention all the way? Because like it seems like some of you guys don't know exactly what a shot caller does.
Yeah, Impulse. You could choose whatever I do. I could be silent, whatever. I'll be back in like a minute.
Okay. So does anybody want? So we have our alt tracker as Snarls, and then we still need our shot caller and target caller. Okay. So nobody's picking anything. Does anybody want to be shot caller? Going once, going twice. Okay, so Durags, we're gonna have you as our shot caller, and then target caller. Does anybody want to be in target caller? Going once, going twice, and Dehydrated, you're gonna be our target caller. All right. All right, so well, Dehydrate will be back in a second. Dehydrated.
I'm back.
Oh, okay. I was about to type that out. All right, you're going to be our target color. All right.
Alright.
All right. So now we all need to go into our options, and we're going to change some sound settings up and some other controls and stuff like that, so that we can make things a little easier for everybody and stuff to that effect. All right. So everybody go into your sound settings. We're going to go to music volume. Going to turn that down to 0. Going to put
My
subtitles.
music.
Going to turn subtitles on critical gameplay only. I'm going to go to voice chat mode. I'm going to put it on open mic. M, the letter M is to mute your mic by default. Then we're going to go to controls. And we're going to go to hero. Under hero, it'll say allied health bars. We're going to put that on always. Make sure all heroes are selected, because you want every hero to see this.
What was that last one?
Under hero, allied health bars, put it on always. Somebody needs to hit the letter M on their keyboard. Then we're going to go to gameplay. This one's going to be a little long. Always skip kill cam, turn that on. Kill feed display, turn that on. Tips display, turn that off. Then we're going to go to waypoint opacity, down to 0%. Respawn icon, 0%. Player outline strength, we're going to put that at 100%. And then last but not least is going to be career profile visibility. We're going to put that on private. It needs to be on private. Does not need to be on friends only or groups only or anything like that. It needs to be on private. And then once everybody's profile went to private, we'll go ahead and start up. So does anybody have any questions about your roles or anything like that before we get started?
With the career profile, how do you put them in private again?
It's
Go
in
to
social.
options, social,
Options, social, and then
career
career
profile.
profile,
Yeah,
visibility.
it's like the first option there.
Putting it on private seems a little nitpicky, but I did it anyways.
It's specific. This option is specific for this lobby. It doesn't have anything to do with the rules like that. The reason why I have it on private is because during this lobby, I want our shot caller picking stuff based off of what the team comp works well synergizing with, how the map is, what side we're on, map point, like where we're at, if it's a lot of long range, stuff like that. So I want them picking it based off of that. Doesn't make a difference how good of a Symmetra you are if you're playing against a Pharmacy and a Widowmaker. You're not going to do anything against that. So that's why I have it on private. Alright, so Snarl still needs to be on private. If it has,
I switched it.
okay, it just takes a minute.
It takes a minute to
Yeah,
load
usually
in.
it takes a minute, so yours may just be taking a little bit. Alright, so everybody's good here. Alright, so does anybody have any questions over anything before we get started? About your roles or anything like that? No? Okay, so these first couple matches, I'll be your training wheels, and I'll be kind of reminding you, hey, we need to be doing this, we need to be doing this, stuff like that. Later on, I will not be doing that. I'll be letting you guys kind of do that on your own toward the end of the lobby, alright?
Who are you going to be playing throughout this?
Whatever our shot caller says, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think you could just choose who you play.
Yeah, he does. That's what a shot caller does. They make the team comps.
In a different lobby, that would never work.
In any team game, any team, that's how it works.
That's how it should work, but we're gold, so it won't.
Well, if you join a team, that's how it will work. Any gold team I've played or coached on or seen played, that's how it works. That's how shot calling works.
I guess.
No, it's true.
But you don't want to just pull someone out of their comfort zone to someone they have 2 hours on.
Well, that may be fair, but like I said, if you're a great Symmetra and you're going against a Pharah and a Widow, what is the difference of you being in your comfort zone or not? You're going to lose that duel.
I mean, the sim should be able to flex, yes, but if the sim has 30 minutes on Widow, the shot caller can't just say go Widow like when they have 4 hours on Hunt.
Yeah, maybe, but that just needs to be a personal issue, and you just need to play more stuff, honestly. But I mean, you wouldn't join a team if you're going to be wanting to only play one hero.
Select your hero.
All right, what are we playing here, Durex?
I mean, I'm kind of feeling. We could do Snarls, you play a lot of Ryan, right?
We're all top.
Ryan.
We're all
I'll
top
go Ryan.
500 in every single role. So pick whatever you want us to go.
So go Ryan then.
Okay. What do you want for supports and DPS?
That for me.
Supports and DPS. I mean, any kind of. I mean, Echo's a good pick.
What's the best pick here?
For supports, Ana. I'll go Ana.
5,
And
4.
Zen.
Alright, we gotta pick.
Alright, what's your other DPS?
Round 1.
DPS.
The objective.
Hit scan of some. We'll say. I don't know. Fucking.
What's the best one?
Just
On
go.
the
I don't fucking know. Widow, sure. Play
Widow? Okay.
I don't know.
One shot, one kill.
Hog. Watch hog hooks.
Thanks, Squishy.
We need some stunts for this ball, probably.
There's a tracer behind.
Ball purple. Mercy half.
Tracer behind. Let's
So we should be calling targets.
Hog,
let's get Hog. Get Hog.
Go ball.
Get more low.
Just in a recall.
Hog.
So Durag, you don't have to call targets. It's Dehydrate that is calling targets.
More one.
That's who's calling targets. Yeah, all you gotta be doing is telling us what we need to be
Went back now.
swapping to.
Ball one. More low.
Alright, so Dehydrated probably gonna end up getting kicked out, I bet. Because he wants to play what he wants to play. So I'll mention it after the match is over. Then we'll go from there. But he doesn't seem like he wants to ever play on the team. Okay, so are we still fighting this Durags, or are we backing out? What are we doing? Because at this time, you should be like, yeah. As soon as you feel like we should be backing out or something, that's what you want to be.
I was just staying there to farm ult charge on my grass.
That's fine. You just want to let your team know what they need to be doing too. Like I said, you're guiding the team on what we should be doing. The Dehydrator is going to be guiding the team on who we should be focusing.
Ball one. All dead. Push.
Alright, get them
Go
more.
sleeper.
Yeah, I curse my fault. I didn't have charge either for it.
Can we stall this? Just stall
tap?
my hand. Hide behind the pillar. Right, push.
Hog just used breather. Hog's done.
Hog half.
Oh wait.
Tracer's behind.
We don't need many ults here. Tracer's behind.
Tracer no pulse guard.
I think we gotta switch off the Widow.
Well, it's going to be Durag's call.
No.
I mean, Durag shouldn't be the only one calling out stuff.
Okay,
but yeah.
so
I have shatter. Should I use
there's
it?
nowhere. We're talking about that after the match is
Don't
over.
use shatter. We got the fight.
Hog dead.
I have
Hog
train.
has ult.
Nice
Get
no
the
no.
Mercy. Mercy
got rest. Mercy one. It's just a Moira. She can't really do much. Nice.
Alright,
Nice, huh?
They wasted Cole. Nice.
Mercy, I would have rather you play Echo. So you
Breaking
can
minds.
Yeah, there's no. See, and the
It's fine,
reason
just
with
break
him
the mines, break the
swapping,
mines.
now I can't play
Alright,
McCree because you
I
have the
mean,
hit scan swapping.
Ball just used ult. Hog has
I'll
ult.
use
They should have
grab.
swapped
Yeah,
to.
Tracer's behind. Tracer's gonna swap.
Mercy used Valk.
Hog left side.
I think Mercy used Valk. Hog could die.
Alright, so what ults are we going to be using this fight, Durags?
I'll use grab.
Tracer no recall. Tracer no
Okay, so we're
recall.
going to grab this fight.
We gotta kill Tracer. She still has no recall. Dead.
Can you do your Ana behind?
One dead.
We don't need gold because we won the fight.
Yeah, we don't need ult here. We're up 2. We'll tear it down.
Yeah, come back.
Are we
Ryan,
on?
come back.
Can we switch off Widow, please?
Moira half.
No, come back. Yeah, we can just
Mercy off on left side. Mercy low.
switch on to Echo.
I am 5 health.
We're not with you. We're not with you.
You said Durag? What did you say,
Sorry, I
Durags?
couldn't
Let's
hear
switch
you.
to Echo. Switch to Echo.
Okay.
If you can play Echo.
I'm stalling him. Alright, that was a good stall ult.
Flight routine
Good half.
activated.
See, and the problem is Durags won't really
Alright, I'm
recognize
gonna
that
grab
if
it.
he's switching
I'm gonna grab
midway
it.
through.
Moira have faith. Moira have faith.
Because
Is that
they're
fair?
making their own
Is that fair?
decision.
Hog on the hook.
Don't use grab, probably. Yeah, don't use grab. We lost.
Ball's close to ult.
Don't use
I
any
haven't
ults.
seen
Don't
it
use any
work.
ults.
I held on to
Okay,
my
so
grab for too long.
Dehydrate, you're doing a lot of work right now. All we need you to do is call targets. It is Durag's call to call everything else, okay?
Regeneration complete. Switching back to combat mode.
Alright, I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna solo grab probably.
You're dead. Push. I'm dead.
Finishing them off.
Balls one.
Yeah, they missed free.
Are we still gonna fight this, or are we gonna back out some?
I got
On my target.
Well, someone on.
We're trying to res here.
Nice
Probably
try.
just
Get turret.
Get in there. Upgrade detected. I know you can do big.
Mercy one.
Name out, Torbo, stop.
Ability increase.
Just, yeah, they wasted Torbo.
Focus ball.
All stunned.
I have
He's one. All still super low.
oh,
It's McCree ult. Don't peek it.
Yeah.
Where is McCree?
I'm 8 HP,
He
I really
dropped.
need heals. Ball stunned.
Mercy on ball.
I need heals.
He's stunned.
Dead.
Okay, well,
This turret needs to go, guys, please.
it's only you and
Yeah.
Auto left
I
right
can
now.
roll. Yeah, but we kind of gotta
Do you
hold.
want me to use Echo here? Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta.
yeah, use that for ult.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Oh, I'm getting body blocked.
Oh wait,
my
no,
gosh.
I think it's next fight, not this fight.
But like, that was last fight.
Oh wait,
I
that's
touched.
last fight? Oh, I thought they didn't have that.
First, you just res McCree.
I touched. We lost.
What's the point?
Round lost.
Okay, so Durags, are we going to be switching anything up at all for this
Yeah, I
next
didn't
match?
want the McCree in the first place.
Okay,
Score. 0.
we'll talk about that after the match is over. Prince should probably be back. I think they DC'd, so they should probably be back in a second. But are you
Switch
are
to
you on
clear to
this?
counter that?
Yeah.
Okay, Dehydrated, it's not your call. Okay, you're not the shot caller. Don't try to make your own rules. Durags is the one making the team calls. If they think they need to switch something, they will switch something. If not,
But you don't
play-
know what you're talking about, do you? You switch to counter what they're doing. You don't stick with whatever one person.
So look, let me explain this real quick because we gotta. Usually I give a couple minutes to argue back and forth. Oh, okay. No, we'll invite him back. Because I want to hear what his whole thought process is here as well, because I want to know what's going on here. Okay, so now Dehydrated. Now you're saying that they need to switch to counter and stuff like that, right?
I mean, yeah, that's why there's a hero selection.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you. But what is the goal of this lobby? The goal of
the goal of every lobby is to win, but
the goal of
this communication.
The goal of this lobby is for communication, or for those people that are on these communication roles to get better at that role, right? So, with that being said, if you are taking hero selection into your own hands, I cannot say to our shot caller, "Hey, you're not making these hero picks right. These people are getting too much value, and you're not looking at these heroes." If you feel like somebody's getting too much value or not getting enough value, you need to make sure you're looking at your team comp after every fight and seeing who's getting a lot of value on the enemy team and figure out how to counter it. I can't say that.
That's why I want Kree to counter
But
Tracer
it's not
and
your.
Ball.
But that doesn't help the person that's supposed to be thinking about that. That's what I'm saying. I'm happy that you know that, but I need to make sure that Durags knows that when they're making team comps and knowing how to counter stuff. If everybody's doing their own thing, what's the point of having a shot caller? If everybody's going to make their own shots, there is no reason to have a shot caller. Right?
There should pretty much be a shot caller for everything but the team comp. The team comp is up to people's
No.
preferences.
How many teams have you ever played on? How many hours of scrims do you have? Just curious.
How many do you have?
I have over 800.
And you're a Zen main, not DPS.
What does that have to do with anything?
Why are
About
you
how
flexing
many?
it? He's a.
How many hours of scrim experience do you? We got about
Bro, he
30
might be
seconds
better.
left.
Okay, you're better mechanically than me. Sure.
No, I'm not. I'm
But
not in. I'm
in
not in masters. I
Yes,
tell this
you are.
everybody. I am not in masters for my mechanical skill. I'm telling you that now. My mechanical skill is not there. That's why. That's. I'm not in masters for that. I'm in masters because I have good game sense and good positioning. So, now your argument. So you have played clearly more hours of scrims than me, apparently. because I'm really wondering where you're getting this idea that nobody shot calls and makes team comps. Because every team I've ever played on and coached and been coached by has said the same thing, where your shot caller is picking up team comps and making team comps and making those plays and stuff like that. And in this lobby
You have to
specific,
keep in mind we're not top 500. We're not above diamond.
so
We
if
can't
you
play at
so if
hero.
you want
Don't
to
you
play,
want to be one day?
if you want to play
Yeah,
in
but for
those
now I'm
roles,
focusing on heroes I can.
if you want to play in those ranks, you play like those ranks. You don't play like you're in gold, because if you want to play like you're in gold, you will stay in gold. You play like the rank that you want to be in, so you can be in that rank. That is how you improve in Overwatch. So, feel free, if you want to head out and leave, feel free to do so. I'll have you blocked. You won't be able to come back in. Whatever. These lobbies may not be for you. You may not be a coachable person. But if you're going to continue...
I did coaching yesterday, and it went a lot better than this.
Right, cool. Feel free to head out.
They left.
I don't know why somebody would join a group not and like specifically with a title like this and then not listen to what the coach is trying to tell you. You join to listen, even if you don't agree with the person what he's telling you. Just fucking listen, and if you don't like it, leave. Don't fucking argue with the coach.
It's that's why I usually have a couple minutes out of every lobby to argue back and forth. So that was the 2 or 3 minutes that we spent. So we're still good on time. It's just people are crazy. Wow, what was that person thinking? That person was not thinking. That was an Isaac. Hey, Pro 420, have you been in here before? Because your name seems familiar.
Maybe.
Okay. Hello, Wet Waifu. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a really quick summary of what's going on here, so you guys can kind of be up to speed. First off, are you guys going to be able to play for about 55 minutes or so?
Yep.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay, because I don't know what happened to Prince. They just either DC'd or something, but they had that happen yesterday.
They left the group mid-game.
Yeah, they had that happen yesterday, and then they joined back in. They came on stream or something like that, so I don't know why they ended up...
problems, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be internet problems. I don't know. So anyways,
I'll be right back. I'm gonna make another pot of coffee.
Yeah, that's fine. So Wet and Pro 420, what we're doing here, we're working on shot calling, alt tracking, and target calling. So we just lost our target caller, and the other person just, I think, had internet problems or something like that. Our shot caller is Durags. They're going to be telling us what team comps we're going to be playing, play style, what ults we're going to be using before team fights and stuff like that. And then the next thing is our target caller. Our target caller, we don't have one yet, so I'll be picking another target caller in a second. And our target caller is going to be calling targets based off of if somebody's out of position, if they're low HP, if abilities are used, and the most important thing is going to be if everybody can hit the same target. So that's going to be what our target caller is going to be doing. They're going to be repeating names over and over again, stuff like that, to kind of make everybody hype and be able to hear what the target call is over everybody else that's calling information and stuff like that. Then we also have our alt tracker. Our alt tracker is Snarls BD. They're going to be telling us usually after every fight what ults they're going to be getting close to, so that you guys can play. You may have to change your playstyle up or something like that. So that's kind of a really quick summary of the 3 roles that we're working on, and everything like that. So hopefully that makes sense and stuff. So are any of you guys wanting to be a target caller? If not, I'll go ahead and pick one that was already here earlier. Well,
Sure.
Alright, so Pro 420, it'll be our target caller. Do you have any questions about the role or anything like that before we get back into our next one?
Not really. I'll just call the target, you know.
Yeah, okay. So let me go give them an analysis really quick, quick analysis over what that last round was, so we can make some improvements for this next one, alright? So you guys can just listen, and if you guys have any questions or something, feel free to ask. The timer's still going, so we're at 52 minutes, so we're good. Oh, I don't know what happened to that person. I don't know if they left on accident or they left on purpose. If they left on purpose, they usually get blocked, but some people do end up leaving by accident, so we'll see. Hello, Dr. Finest. Thanks for the follow. Oh, jeez. Water. Okay, I don't know what happened to them. I'll try to invite them back, but then I'm gonna go ahead and start opening it for everybody else. But if they don't join back in, they'll be blocked, so we don't waste our time on them in future lobbies.
How many people can you have blocked?
I have probably over 150 or 200. I've done these lobbies for a pretty decent amount of time, and every now and then there will be some trolls, or there'll be people like
Oh, you lost someone again?
yeah, they just left. I don't know. They got blocked. Hey, okay. That's fine.
Hey, I had a quick question about the last fight we did. Because I got shattered really fucking quick, and I saw an opportunity. It was kind of like I saw the opportunity and I went for it. Should I have not shattered and just waited for shot caller to call out to use shatter?
Really good question.
If I, like, see...
No, yeah, that's a really good question. So normally you could probably, how it needs to work is that you want to get verification that your shot caller needs the ultimate. So when you're at like 80% or something like that, go ahead and let your shot caller know, hey, I'm gonna have shatter this fight, and our shot caller should be listening, say, okay, yeah, we're gonna need shatter. Or if not, because how the shot caller's mind should be thinking is literally where are we going to use next fight. They need to be thinking one fight ahead. So if you're getting close to your ultimate and you see an opportunity for your ult, ask your shot, hey, do we need this ult this fight? If they say yes or no, then they say yes or no. If they don't say anything, it's usually defaulted by no, and they need to either listen a little better or something like that. Like I said, this is a quick pay match. We're all using in-game voice and stuff like that, so if you can't hear, it's fine. I get that, but like in this lobby specifically, I just want them to be making all the calls and stuff like that, so we can talk about it on a little more strict terms there. Hey, Nutaku, how you doing? Nutaku, hello, can you hear me? Hello, Nutaku.
Yeah, sorry.
Have you been in this lobby before?
I literally have no idea. If so, then I could leave.
No, it's fine. Are you going to be able to play for about 50 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me give you a summary of what these 3 roles are doing. You don't have to have any roles because the Pro 420 is going to be taking over our target calling. Then I'm going to give a summary of like some things that we need to fix up with our shot caller, and then we're going to get back into the match, all right? So Durags is our shot caller. So Durags, can you say hello?
Hello.
And then the Pro 420 is our target caller. They're going to be calling targets and stuff like that where we're going to need to be focusing and stuff. So and then Snarls is going to be our ult tracker. They're going to be telling us after each fight what ultimates they're going to be having if we get a reset and stuff like that. Okay? So now Durags, when you're calling our targets, or not calling targets, when you're making team comps and stuff, one big thing that you need to work on in Big Elephant in the Room obviously is speed. So it doesn't matter what you end up picking, just pick something, because if it doesn't, if they're running a counter to it immediately, then just go ahead and swap, go back to spawn, and then swap us out. There's nothing wrong with that. We just need to at least have something, okay? And just pick something that can work. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't. But you never know, if you pick something and it seems like it's working due to they're playing something bad or we're just better than them in general, fine, it works. So as long as you have something coming out of there. With our team comp, we didn't have necessarily a bad team comp or anything like that. I would have said, instead of running a Widow, you probably could have ran a McCree starting out and or an Ashe. Though any of those things would have been viable there, just because of the fact that a McCree's a little more closer range, Control Center's a little closer since you're also playing Reinhardt, McCree, Ryan, Lucio, all of them play pretty well together. And then if you want to swap out for the McCree, you could have played Ashe as well, because Ashe is mid-range as well. Widow's just might be a little too long range, a little too close quarters for Widow to get a lot of value. It can get value, but it just really kind of depends and stuff like that. And then when they came out on the Ball and Tracer, you probably just go ahead and go a Sombra there, so you can either duel the Tracer and or hack the Ball, and then you can keep the McCree if you want to keep the McCree. So any of those things would have been fine. Biggest thing is just have a team comp ready. Any plan is going to be better than no plan, all right? So just kind of keep that in mind. All right? So let's go ahead get into our next few ones.
Easy wins.
Yo, Snoz, do you play any Sig?
Thank you for
I
the
can
happy
play
birthday.
anything in the game.
Thanks.
Alright,
Oh yes, that is correct. I can play 6.
okay.
Yeah.
Don't ask, please don't ask me to play Diva.
The-
I
the-
hate that character so much.
The biggest thing that
actually
you want to
prefer
think of, Durags, when making team comps, is also going to be picking. Don't worry about what people may be good at, just because if it's better for a certain map, it could still work. Just because they may only have, like how that one guy was saying, well, if they only have 30 minutes on Widow, that doesn't make a difference if they have 30 minutes on Widow. If you give Widow enough space, it's not hard to hit shots, and the threat of the Widow is more scarier than the
Yeah, it
Widow
can
that's hitting
zone out a lot,
shots.
Yeah.
especially in, like,
So-
And it's like I don't know
tournaments,
how to play
stuff
Diva,
like
but
that.
if we're getting like crapped on by a Widow, I mean I can still swap to Diva.
Yeah.
And I can just zone the Widow,
I would probably
the
swap
Pharah.
Diva, because I can play Diva pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
just,
fine.
yeah. As long as you make some type of any decision, like I said, any plan's going to be better than no plan.
I get it, yeah.
So
Traveling to
We skipped this,
Horizon,
right?
ugh,
Alright, so
okay.
what I heard is a Torb May.
select your
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I want.
Hey, do we skip this map or do we play this one out?
this
Can you do?
we
can
can
you
play
do
this.
Sig? We can do double shield here.
Yeah, sick, I like it.
Then maybe like
We're attacking.
we get a Mercy Zen. Then we could go for like an Echo and
Choosing the broken characters, I see.
yeah, we could go Ash if you wanted.
What's the best?
Yeah,
What's the
I'm
best one
thinking
here?
Probably Ash is a pretty good pick here.
Ash. Okay.
You can dynamite on
attack
point.
commences
Okay.
in 30
My
seconds.
business, my rules.
I didn't really look at the hero. I can't go back and look, so I didn't know
We'll
if they
just play
had.
the double shield. I'll put my shield down first, and if Sig,
is not so special.
and if mine breaks, then Sig
There are
pushes
more
up.
robots than humans in
And
space.
you know, just Zen and Ash player on shield. Mercy, you could probably pocket the Echo a little bit.
Where are we
probably not
going
too
at?
much, because we won't have enough healing if you just fully
Uh,
pocket the Echo.
Whoever town is, they're
What's
going
our
into
pathway?
space. So
I didn't hear you.
I think they're talking about in the group chat that they're going into space. So they're just giving us the high ground. Three looks like.
I would say let's just walk to point then.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Remain.
attack. Beginning objective attack.
Throwing a quick play game? Okay. Ryan charging
Ryan's-
in?
Focus Reiner. Everyone, nice. Anyone see anyone else? Hog,
Yeah, hog bottom. Bears coming in. They're all coming in from that right side.
Yeah, Ferris?
Hog.
I got booped.
Focus on.
There's a
They
hog
actually
behind.
throwing?
Go next point.
Well, we're playing throwers, so. Let's get the
In
hunt.
quick play?
Oh.
Throwing in quick play?
Hey, look, if they're throwing, we should have our comms on point. There should be no problem with our communication.
Push the point there. Lucia's just chilling in the gravity
Okay.
area.
Hog's
Let's
pushing
just
up.
push the point.
Hog no hook.
The hog. Let's push the
Hog
main.
is breather.
Push the main.
Going through main.
Push the main. I'm gonna suck the Ana.
Yeah, none of them are gonna have ult yet.
Good,
At
throw
all.
Yeah, the Bastion.
Here, go, focus. Hanzo in the back. There you go.
Hog coming
Ziggy
in.
still left side.
Hoggy's breather?
Bless your
Or
heart.
no. It looked like he did. He didn't. I lied. He just used it.
Okay, so let's go over what was good and some stuff that we definitely need to work on. So really good call, Durags, on just going straight to point if they're just going to give you the space and stuff like that. So even if you didn't see that, big thing that you want to look for, because like when you get to the choke, the big thing that you want to do when you go into the choke is kind of scout where they're at. Okay. So first off, are they top right, top left? Are they hiding or whatever? You want to know where all 6 people are, just in case their Reinhardt may be behind us on the high ground, coming to get some crazy charge or something like that. That does happen. So always make sure you check your corners, look at that scouting and stuff, and then once you identify, okay, they're not here or whatever, go straight to point, beeline straight to point. So really good call there on making that as well. And then also scouting where they're coming from and stuff like that. So good job on that. Target calling and stuff. Target calling seemed to be pretty good. With the comp that we're playing, we're not necessarily going into them. They're going to be coming into us. So all you got to do is literally just wait for them to kind of get close. And as soon as we get closer or something, or you see an ability come out, called out, which is kind of what you was doing. You was calling out targets pretty consistently. So that's kind of what I want to be hearing and stuff like that every single time. And then some of the big things, like if we're pulling or something like that, when you're calling the pulls and stuff, if you see somebody get pulled 420, you go ahead and call that out so we can focus that stuff in that pool. Or abilities and stuff like that used. And since they're just kind of staggering themselves in, keep putting pressure and stuff like that. We didn't really get a chance to alt track just because, I mean, we only did 2 fights, so there wasn't really many ult
tracking. I just called no ult.
yeah. So there wasn't really much to do there. So obviously that was a bit of a throw by them, but these are things that you definitely want to look for and take advantage of. If they do get out of position and they give us that position, like say if Hog was by himself and everybody was out in space, go ahead and kill the Hog if you can go to him. If not, leave him there. And I do want to shout out again on when that Lucio is in the back line, you're like, oh, just leave the Lucio, let's go to point. He's not doing anything. Really good call there, because he's not going to be affecting us, and we can just go straight to point. And then when he finally comes in, yeah, okay, he might do something, but at that point we already have really good points on space, and we can get 1 or 2 ticks at least before he's actually effective again. And we just got 30%. So these are things that you want to be looking at and paying attention to, and knowing when to take advantage of certain things and when not to. And also going after Lucio that's going to be super hard to kill with our team comp is not going to be worth trying to chase down. So these are things that you want to look for. All right. So hopefully let's continue and get this next one in. Do you guys have any questions or anything like that on what we need to, or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Now hopefully we get a match where people's actually trying a little more.
Trying. Yeah, that was that was weird. I guess they just didn't like that map. I mean, I don't like that map at all. Nobody likes that map.
I don't mind it. I like the map. I don't like Paris. Will be the only, if we do get Paris, it'll be on our shot caller to make the call if they want to do that or anything. Any tips for calling targets on ball? It's literally the same thing as calling targets on anything else.
True. But majority of the time you're out of the fight, I feel. Or
yeah, the big
then if you're out of the fight a lot of times because you're doing ball things, what I would say is you need to make sure your team is communicating to you, and then you pick targets best off of what they're giving you. So if they're calling certain abilities and stuff like that, call that out.
Okay. Let's kind of just play the same comp, I feel like.
Okay. What was the other Ash, right?
Yeah, Ash.
Okay.
I mean, even Widow. Actually, can you go Widow?
Would you rather?
Widow
You
instead?
want to echo?
Yeah, let's go Widow.
Whatever you want to do,
Echo.
I'll pick around you. So if you want to echo, you can echo. If you want to Widow.
I do Widow.
Okay.
We could go Hog too, but I kind of want to go with the 6.
I'll play Iron Man.
Synchronization 100%. Good to be back.
Yeah, I'll definitely play Hog if you want me to. I am not the best mechanically with his hook, and I know the Orisa nerfs on the pull. It just makes that combo not as good.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah, so like, is there anything specific or anywhere you're wanting us to play here, Durag, or are we just gonna kind of hold?
I kind of want to play back here.
Okay. Let me interrupt really quick because I want to let everybody know this. Please never say here, there, or me, or I, because we don't know any of that. So always talk in third person, or say left, right side, or anything like that. So always try to talk in.
I'm gonna play a little bit forward. I'll just let them back.
Have a ball, bat, Junkrat,
Hanzo,
Brian.
Alright, come back.
Hanzo's main.
Ball's left, right? Oh no, he's back.
We traded.
Put out your shield pick. Ball coming through.
Focus
Ball
ball.
up. Ball one.
Nice.
Ryan,
Focus on.
Be honest with the Ana. Ana's pushing up the line.
Ana's on.
Ana half, Ana healed, Ana half still.
She's
Still
here.
half.
Ana's dead. Ana's low.
Just use grenade.
Can we heal? Okay. We really need to go after that Ana.
Ana's down.
Oh, someone else.
Ryan has shattered.
All half.
They're down 2 right now. Do we still need to fight
Okay,
this?
junk.
We can still fight this. We're coming back.
Ryan 1.
Yeah, there we go.
Ball low, ball low.
He's going.
Good ball.
Lifting off.
You always think.
On his main.
Damage systems increase.
Sig, back up.
Alright, so what ults are we gonna be using this fight, Durex?
We should definitely use Sig and combo it with Echo stickies.
On it down.
So don't use your ult.
So just one ult?
Yeah.
Alright.
I have
Yeah,
sight.
I can do that.
I'm ready whenever you are,
Be
Snarls.
careful for the Rhine shatter. Be ready to pop down for Rhine shatter.
Moving up.
I have sight, so whenever you want me to pop it, let me know.
Pop shatter.
3 seconds on bombs.
No one can hide from my sight. Quite the boom.
Yeah, just be ready to use it.
They're taking a left. They're going up the high ground.
I do not have bombs yet. 4 seconds.
Yeah, right there. It's coming.
Got 300.
Dude, there.
I'm ready whenever.
Ball half.
That half.
Break right.
Sigma, I'm ready.
I'm gonna pop it. I'm popping it.
That half.
Here, get the on one. Huge.
Ball, do it
Get the ball.
I'm going ball.
Don't go aggressive on the ball by yourself. Like, don't front line against
He's
the
low.
ball.
He's low.
I got him.
It's just a Hanzo up front by himself. I can't get him.
Alright, so can we go to ult track while we have some time? Source?
Yeah. I didn't see Shatter. Probably Shatter.
This fight,
Higher.
Echo, you couple. I'm gonna
There's-
couple.
there's a lot of
And Sun and Mercy, just wait for
Okay.
like Jungle, Hanzo ult. or
Okay, so
Shatter.
what ults are we using this fight, Durex?
We're gonna use Orisa and Echo.
Okay.
And,
Batista's gonna engage with the window here.
Adaptive circuits
Oh my gosh.
Honor.
He gets thrown. Ryan's chasing me. He's on point.
I'm gonna.
Hanzo fire.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Turn down. Focus junk. Discord, up top. High ground, some point.
I got blue.
Junk down.
On it behind the crates. She's low.
They're back and forth.
I don't see her.
Focus right.
She's behind the right.
On.
Oh, okay.
Ryan half. Ryan's getting healed.
I have focus on.
Lifting off.
I can't see anything over there. So I'm
60 seconds.
Ryan low.
Ana's
Ryan
down.
low.
Liana.
Ryan's
Ana's
still
down.
half.
So target calling definitely needs to be a little worked on.
Ball one.
Especially when we're in the middle of
I like this.
Alright, back up.
fights and stuff. Comms are definitely a little cluttered between
Alright.
fights.
They didn't use Windows, so Windows gonna be. They swapped off that.
No.
Ana's definitely gonna engage with the Nano this fight then.
Probably.
Oh wait, no. They used Nano right.
Yeah, they did.
Did they get tired?
All tracking definitely needs to be worked on.
Break your Ryan
Okay,
show
so
half.
are we using any ults this fight, Durag?
We could use Wiggle and
Okay.
Alright. I'm gonna let these mines pass and then I'm gonna pop so we can go in. 3, 2, 1, I'm popping it.
Alright, use
Junk one behind pillar.
Junk to the left, behind the pillar. You get the junk,
Call targets, who we on?
Shield low, Ryan shield low.
Break shield on Ryan, break shield on Ryan.
Changing position.
Ryan shield's broken.
Let's kill Ryan.
Junk 1.
Focus Reinhardt one.
Ryan.
Ryan shield
I have
broken, Ryan
Echo.
one
Do you
still.
want?
Alright, let's focus ball now, focus ball.
On the front line.
Locking on.
Hop your ball, hop your widow.
She's taking high ground.
Ball and Ryan.
I don't know where
Reaper's in
they're.
left side room. I'm gonna use my ult this fight. We can pop info site now if you want.
No one can hide from my sight.
That Reaper's up top right.
Widow's getting killed. Hop your widow.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
wanna-
pop Valve for any ults that they have, but if they don't pop any ults, we don't pop that.
Alright, do you want Echo ult this fight or no?
Save Rock for Reaper ult. I don't know if he has one yet.
I have Echo ult.
Yeah, I mean, they're not pushing in, so we might as well just kind of wait around.
What else are you wanting to use this fight?
On one.
Pop my original when they come through.
Okay.
Not good.
Ryan Shatter's coming. That's too late.
Alright,
This one, hey.
On your widow.
I'm flying up, Mercy. I still have Echo. Do you want Echo here?
yeah, we can pop Echo.
I'll have ball one.
Oh, do you still want it or no?
They just swapped the Reaper.
Me and Mercy's behind. They're chasing me. Mercy.
They don't have any ults. They might have a nano. I didn't see nano.
I can touch. Do you want Echo here or no?
Oh yeah, you can pop
Engage.
Ball one.
Run bot.
Jump one. Go get jump.
Right low, right low.
Fine and
Don't go too far, because that block is going back to
Okay, can we go to ult track again, please?
I don't think they've. I didn't see any value gained at any of their characters, so I don't think they have really.
On your
Okay.
Charge yet. The Rhine might have Shatter.
Okay.
Again. Ball might engage with his mines. Not sure how far his ult range is. It could be mid-fight that he gets ult and he pops.
They're coming up top.
I done a metal.
Go for Ana.
On.
Moving up. Onwards to victory.
Save Rock.
Send one. Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Shatter here.
They have my yellow. Focus jump.
Jump one. Rhine no shield. Rhine one no shield.
Ball point.
He balls.
Alright. So let's go over what was good and what was bad. Overall, I think it was pretty decent, but definitely there's some stuff that needs to work after that first one. So, we had a good team comp. Team comp wasn't terrible or anything like that. So I'll just go in order. So shot calling team comp, like I said, was pretty good. One thing that I will say is try to come up with plans a little bit quicker, and you don't need to necessarily tell people how to play their heroes when it's something that's going to be super obvious and stuff like that. So everybody is going to follow up on Sigma's flux, obviously. So you don't necessarily tell people like they have to do this or do something like that, unless it's going to be something like if you're playing the Orisa, like, all right, hey, when I pull, I need you to ult. Well, obviously that's how it should work. So you don't need to go into so much detail on everybody's hero and stuff like that. All you gotta tell is, hey, we're gonna use Sigma's ult this fight, and stuff like that. One thing I want to hear more of, which you were not doing really at all, is telling us if we need to engage or disengage when we're down a couple people. So that's something that I didn't really hear a lot. And also, if we need to die on the payload, these are things that you want to be letting your team know, like, hey, we need to saw out more, die on payload, or if we need to reset, tell your whole team to reset, because that's something that you're not really doing. So make sure, like, in this next match, I want to hear you more during the fight on what we need to do. If we need to back up, if we need to keep going in, stuff like that, okay? That's what I want to hear a lot more of. Other than that, everything else seemed to be pretty decent. That's the only thing that you're really kind of suffering on right now, is just saying stuff mid-fight. Alright, so target calling. Target calling overall was okay for the times that you did call. So one thing that I want you to realize, and you wasn't here when I said this, but as a target caller, you don't necessarily need to be shooting the targets that we're focusing. All you gotta do is guide your team to who we need to focus on. So whenever you're calling targets, I want you to be way more hype when you're calling stuff and be annoying as fuck, because you gotta remember, 5 people are all going to be talking at once, giving out information and all this stuff. So whatever information you hear or see, you just need to be repeating that stuff over and over again. So when you're calling like Rhine or Anna or Sigma, I want to hear you call like Rhine, Zar, Sig, stuff like that. That's how I want to hear you that's how I want to hear you talk, and I want you repeating stuff and hyping everybody up. If you're monotone and you're like everybody else who's talking just casually, we're not going to be able to hear that over the game and everybody else talking. We need to have one voice that's going to be going through all the clutter that we can just consistently hear that name over and over again. So make sure you're trying to do that. I want to hear that a little bit more whenever you're calling these targets and stuff like that. Like I said, you don't have to be shooting the target. All you gotta do is tell us who we need to be shooting. You do your own shit. Like when you're playing the Widow, you got other shit you gotta worry about. You just need to tell us, oh, we gotta focus Ryan. You just focus Ryan. As soon as you see Ryan come up in the kill feed, look around real quick or see what everybody else is saying. If you hear, oh, Ana has no nade, oh, go for Ana then, because she has no something. So just try to get something out for us so that we can focus stuff down. All right. And same thing goes with shot calling. Any target's going to be better than no target, because if there's no target called, everybody's shooting something different. So just get something out there, especially while we're in the middle of fights and stuff like that. All right, alt tracking. So alt tracking was okay. One thing I want you to start doing, because you're talking a little bit too much of stuff that doesn't necessarily matter. So if you're like, when you're saying, oh, well, they just switched to this hero, so I don't think they're gonna have their alt. You just spent 3 seconds talking about shit that doesn't matter. Or like when you're saying, hey, they didn't get a lot of value and blah, blah, blah. That's another 3 seconds that doesn't matter. All we need from you to get this information out is literally name and percent. Get that out as fast as possible, because we don't have a lot of times between team fights. So as soon as you go to alt track, hold tab, go left to right. Ryan's at 50, blah, blah, is at 0. This is at this, this is at this, this is at this, this is at this. That's all we need. And then, as soon as that is done, our shot caller will talk. Now, for everybody overall, and this goes between our shot caller and alt tracker. When the fight is over, it is the alt tracker's job to talk. So, shot caller, please try not to talk over that, because on first point, when I was like, "What else were you using?" Both of you guys, I didn't ask. No, I think both of you guys started talking. And then I was like, wait, what are we doing? Because I'm hearing Snarls talk about what else they're going to have, and then I'm hearing Durag say what our next plan is. We got to remember to have clean comms and try not to clutter stuff. Both things are super important, but we definitely need to get one thing out first, and then the next thing. So Durags is...
So who goes first?
After a fight is over, alt tracking needs to go first. Because if you know that they're going to have Shadow this fight, then Durags can make a defensive play for it. So that's why the shot caller will go first. Now, shot caller, if you know that they're coming out of spawn or something like that, and they're getting close, and you need to make your plan, you gotta, hey, alt tracker, we gotta make a plan. You gotta kill it, or something like that. You can go ahead and speak up and say, hey, I gotta talk. Or if our shot caller starts talking, then alt tracker, you just gotta wait and just get faster at it and stuff like that. Obviously, when the fight's kind of getting over, when there's like 2 people left, then go ahead and start talking about alts, because we don't need a target call anymore. And shot caller, you can go ahead and say, hey, fight's over, let's go ahead and alt track. If you know that we need to alt track Durags so you can get the stuff done, you go ahead and mention, hey, let's go ahead and alt track, because this fight's over. So just keep that in mind. All right, so Pro420 said they had 2 questions. So it's, well, target caller, quote unquote. Well, unless you're talking about shot caller. As shot caller, should I call out spawn or tell someone else to call targets?
Target caller.
So in this lobby, no. In team settings, yes. Most teams, and this is stuff that we're never going to go over in these lobbies and stuff like this, because this is a little too advanced and stuff like that. But normally how teams will do this is that you have your primary target caller, and then your shot caller would echo the targets that your primary target caller is killing or focusing. And then if your target caller dies, your shot caller takes that role over. And then if that person dies, you're already down a 4v6, and you're probably resetting anyways. So normally that's how it would work. But in this lobby specifically, target caller, you call as many targets as you can, no matter if you're in spawn, coming back from spawn. You just need information. The big thing here, and this goes for everybody else, everybody here during the target calling phase, until you hear our shot caller say, we need to reset, you need to be giving out information to our target caller so they can make the best target calls that they can. If we don't know that ball is in the back line, how are we going to call it if they don't know that? Or if they don't know that Mora used fade, how do we know we're going to call that out? So always call the information that you see, because we're not all looking at the same screen. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then you had one more question too? Or was that that cover both questions?
Oh. Second right here.
Also, what's a better way to communicate the swaps the shot caller wants? For example, I was getting dove and not getting value. Oh, so normally
I tried saying it 3 times.
And this,
no one heard me.
Yeah, I heard that a couple times. So I'm really happy you did mention this.
Sorry.
If you're not getting value on a hero, normally you just say, hey, I'm not getting value on this hero. What do you want me to swap to? And that's going to be in this lobby because I want them to look and make that decision themselves. But in a team setting, you would say, hey, do you want me to swap to this because I'm not getting, like, they're diving me or something like that. But ideally, you don't want to make any hard team swaps because you want to change your playstyle up first because then you don't lose any ult charge. Because if we change our playstyle and just pocket the shit out of you because, hey, you're getting dove, let's just pocket our Widow to make sure she stays alive. And now when you get dove, you stay alive and we still get value from it. Now we don't lose any ult charge and we can still play our team comp effectively. So
see, like,
those are things that you want to be looking for there.
When I was like, I heard you perfect. I was like, I was paying attention when you were, if you're like, I think the Widow said that when you were like asking for someone to heal you or something. Like, I could hear you. I was just trying to focus on the people that were in the front line, you know, actually like getting damaged, like low critical HP. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Widow that's getting dove on by a ball.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing too, and that goes on to our shot caller as well, and understanding, like, our team comp has low output of healing, so that's one thing, but if it can still work, then change our playstyle up first. So, do-rags, you have to realize, oh, this person's getting dove all the time, watch the kill feed, stuff like that, listen to your team and stuff, and if you feel like they're getting dove, all you gotta do is, hey, supports, I need you to make sure we're focusing on healing these people, on keeping these targets pocketed. So just keep that in. But yeah, you don't have to ask for healing. You can ask for healing if somebody needs healing. So just say, hey, Widow needs heals. Widow needs heals. Bring it up so that people can heal you. It doesn't necessarily mean like you need to get hit pocketed. It just means that, hey, I'm low HP. I need heals and I'm getting dove. So that's just something that you can say. But yeah, as a shot caller, you should be realizing, like looking at that. And then, like I said, if they say they're not getting any value, look at how you can make them get value. Either change playstyle up first or change the hero they're playing. So either one will work. Try to change the playstyle up first. All right, so let's go into we have 2 more left. So we're going to get to our second one. And then I'll be your training wheels one last time. And then after this one, we're going to go right back into it. And then I will not be your training wheels at all. I'll be playing normal DPS. And just kind of calling out whatever I see, excuse me, and going from there. All right.
I'll be right back. Like, I'll be back in time for the game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Impulse.
Yeah. Oh, whoops.
Impulse.
Yes.
Could you give me a quick example of what will be a good call when there's someone harassing the healer behind? Like, just a quick example, how should I say it?
You usually like yell like you need help. So like if somebody's attacking you, like if ball's on your, like for me when I'm playing Zen, I'll be like, help your Zen, like help your Zen. Like that's what I'll be telling for people. Because
you wouldn't say a location specifically.
Well, I mean, if you talk in third person, they already know who you are. So if you say if you say ball behind, that is literally behind everything. If you say help your whoever, they already know who needs help. It doesn't matter if it's you or somebody else. So if I see, or like if I'm playing with an Ana and I see Ana getting dove or something, I'm like, hey, help your Ana, because I see them getting dove and everybody turns around because they know that Ana's going to usually be behind anyways. So they're going to turn around, look for our Ana, and then they get help immediately.
Because, like, as a frontline tank, what normally, like, makes it easier for me to know who to focus is if you just say, like, ball on supports or, like, Winston on supports. So I'm not looking necessarily for what support to help. I'm looking for who I need to fucking damage and get away from my heal. I like when I hear, like, who's diving the backline calls.
I would say it's quicker if you say, like, ball behind.
It is quicker to say ball behind, but you got to remember too is like who actually needs the help, because like say if you're Zarya, right, and you need a bubble, if you just know that they're attacking somebody, you're just going to immediately throw the bubble. But if you hear, oh, help your Ana, help your Zen,
Yeah, that one.
then you immediately know who to bubble. Or you immediately know who to pocket and stuff like that.
What your comp is.
Yeah, definitely. This is a gray area in a lot of stuff, but I mean, it's not all going to be black and white.
Yeah, as a Sigma, I couldn't like turn around and actually help anybody other than like stun them or damage them.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
And let's get a Mercy and let's get a Zen, and then I will play Zarya, I think, and you can play Rhine. And then
my stocks today are going good.
We could go like Hanzo and
attack.
Yeah, we'll go Hanzo and Ash. Sure. I don't know how great it is. Actually, can we get instead of a Zen, can we get I'm thinking maybe an Ana.
I get the idea. 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack.
And yeah, Mercy, you can Ash.
Sigma, Ash, Hog, Lucio, Zenyatta.
Focus Ash top.
Echo up top.
Focus Hog, no hook. It's an Echo. Echo, no beam.
Spam out Ash, spam out Ash.
Hold on, my shield's recharging.
Echo behind, Echo behind.
I can look at my room.
Echo behind, guys.
Hog, no hook.
Push up with
I need heal, friend.
Send drop. Focus send.
Hog, no hook.
Right hog.
All purple, they're all purple.
Six.
Hey, Zen's behind, right side?
Okay, Zen in the room,
There's still an Ash up top in the bridge.
Sigma to the left. Sigma half.
6-1.
Ash bottom right.
Focus Echo.
Echo's half. Oh my god.
Point me in the
Echo right side.
Hog on point, Hog to left on point.
Hog no hook. Alright, on the dump front line.
Sigma's probably coming close to the front.
I have a dragon.
80%.
Alright, use dragons behind him to zone you.
Are you sure we don't want to save it for grab dragon?
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Echo behind, focus Echo.
Go, wait, where's our run?
I died from that.
Oh, okay.
We need to back up Echo first. She's gonna delete our tanks.
So are we resetting here?
Echo has ult.
I
charged too deep.
Dragons.
Durags, are we resetting?
Regroup and spawn.
Okay, so go ahead, let's alt track.
Can you pick me, Zarya? Thank you.
Ash just popped the Sigma ult, Hog ult, Hog 100. Definitely Echo's 100. Mercy's gonna Valkyrie, and then the Lucio's gonna have
let's
beat, but I don't think he's gonna beat this
Nano
fight.
on our. Let's use Nano on our run.
I'm singing around corners, by the way, so you'll only have run.
I have Bob here. Do you want Bob?
adaptive circuits engage. Right.
Big aim. Let's push up.
Focus Egg. Ash top.
She's half.
Get your house up.
We're gonna grab dragon.
Alright. Alright, so what are we gonna use this fight?
Grab dragon.
Okay.
And
Lucio beats. Lucio won still.
He was beat, let's go.
Big one.
Sigma 1.
Sig has one.
Focus Echo.
Alright, I'm
Echo
gonna
1 guy.
Just res.
Grabbing.
Echo almost died. Focus Echo.
Echo's behind.
Echo behind.
Okay, can we go and alt track?
Ash. Never mind, I kill him.
Alt track?
Sigma still has flux. Hog's Hog probably 50% to ult. Ash has 100% to ult. Lucio still has beat.
Hold on.
I don't know if Valk happened. I didn't see it.
Okay, now we go ahead and tell us what ults we're gonna use. What are we gonna use this fight, Durax?
We could go chat.
Focus. Break shield.
Yeah, I would shatter.
Shatter can be ready in a
Yeah.
second.
Focus sick.
I have Bob. Do you want Bob?
Oh yeah, keep up.
My shield's gone. I'm out.
Focus hog.
Are we still fighting this, Durax? What are we doing?
We can probably still fight this.
Okay.
It's still a fight. It's like a 5v6.
Ash behind.
Ash top right.
Ash, Signo hug. Or ball.
We cannot stop now.
I have dragons on.
Sigma's definitely flexing here.
You want me to dragon this fight?
Yeah, just like dragon.
Ash is still up top.
Ash is half.
Focus 6.
Sig's on fire.
Ash up top 1.
Are we still fighting this?
How many people we have?
2.
I'm dead.
We're down
Still
2. Okay. So let's go at ult track.
Sigma still has not popped Flux, so he has. The Ash has Bob. Did he pop it?
Ash already popped
Ash-
Bob, so he's probably like 30% now.
Alright, now we
With Dynamite.
Alright, too late. What are we gonna use this fight, Durax?
We're gonna use grab.
Ash top right. Ash
Grab
1.
with
Ash
you.
1.
No one.
Okay. Alright, I'm ready. Let's go. Go here.
Hog no hook. I have another. Alright, Shatter. We need Shatter.
Do you still want to fight this, or you want to wait? What are we doing? Durax.
Lucio half.
Lucio 1.
Hog no hook.
Focus creep.
Hey, Creek,
Freeze one. I don't know.
I have Shatter. Hot Sigma 1. There's Bob.
Bob got me.
I have no
Jeffrey,
sleep.
I don't know.
Shield it, Ryan.
Nice boss.
My shield's half. Oh, it's behind us.
Are we still fighting? What are we doing?
Oh, we're
That's
back there.
Okay, so let's go to ult track.
Not in the plan.
Let's look. Who's doing well? We got the.
Damage boost engaged.
Hog has a Hog has ult.
Direction.
McCree's
Ash
gonna have
one.
Deadeye.
I kind of. I don't know who to play.
Okay. All right, now let's go ahead. What are we doing here, Durax?
I don't know.
Ash no coach cut. She's down on high ground.
I have no idea
I'm
what.
out there. We'll talk about that after. If you don't have any plan, fine. Just keep running with what we got. We just need to know what ult we're gonna use. We have
You
3
almost
ults
have
coming
grab
on.
dragons.
Yeah.
Ash up top.
No Ash. Damn Ash.
Hog no hook.
I have Bob. Do you want Bob here? I'm dead. Your Ash is dead. Okay, so we're backing out. Okay. We're backing out. Snarls, go ahead, start ult tracking.
That
Do you
was
think
not
we
Hog
could
still
get
has a-
someone to
Sigma
dive
has a
those
flux.
DPS
Three
because
has
they're
ult.
just being
Lucio has
uncontested.
Hold on. Ult tracker's talking.
I don't
They're
know.
just being uncontested up top, and then your people are getting picked off behind you.
Yeah. Okay. So what are we gonna use this fight, Durex?
Grab dragons for sure.
Okay.
And
Hog no hook. McCree's fan right.
Let's go. Let's go. We're calling target. Let's go.
I'm grab. Oh wait, I don't have that. Oh, I didn't.
Ash up top
I
right.
saw a clean Shatter. I've been holding on to it for 3 fights now. I haven't been told to use
Ash
it.
is right side on top.
Okay. So what ult are we gonna use this fight?
Well, we should use dragon.
Ash is behind us.
Where's he resing?
I have Bob. Do you want Bob here?
Oh, you're dead.
Can we get a quick regroup?
What are we doing, Durex?
He's res.
Okay.
Alright, I'm switching.
Go ball.
Okay,
There's no quick regroup. What?
I have Bob.
patched up.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, let's pop. Alright,
Anyone touch?
There wasn't any like quick regroup. I had to stay there.
I called.
'Cause there was
like
9
25
seconds.
25 when I
well,
called.
somebody told me that they wanted to regroup, so
No. Okay. So like that's what I was talking about. Like you gotta talk to your team about what we need to be doing. So it's a little slow on your like replies and stuff like that. So we'll go in order and stuff real
I
quick.
don't know what to do. Team comp.
Okay, so let's cover that first. So team comp. If you have no idea how to counter what's going on, copy what they're playing. run the same exact shit. That's why there's metas. If you can't beat them, join them. So if you're like, oh, I don't know how we counter this or what, run the same shit every single time and then just run it better. That's all you can really do if you can't beat what they're running. Okay, so that's an easy fail safe on that situation. Next, like I said, you're doing a little better on telling us when we need to disengage and stuff like that. It's happening every now and then. It's just not happening as frequently and as fast as it needs to. So you're doing it. You're definitely doing a little bit more. But like literally, as soon as we're down 1 or 2, you should be watching kill feed all the time and say, oh, we're down 2. We need to get out. Everybody needs to reset. Like that's what you need to call, because then our target caller can stop talking and then we can back out. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind when we're doing that. And then also. During the alt tracking phase, you're doing a little bit better, but you're still talking a lot about just random stuff. Like the Ryan, when you said, oh, well, Ryan still hasn't used Shatter, or no, the Sigma still hasn't used Shatter, so he's definitely going to have Shatter this, or he's definitely going to have Sigma alt this fight. That took you 6 seconds to get out. By the time you finished saying that, you came back from spawn. Yeah, like I said, we don't care. All we need to know is the name and percent. The longer you take to get that information out, the longer we have to wait before our plan comes online. So I'll get that information out as fast as possible and just give us that information. Whatever. And same thing goes with our shot caller. Our shot caller is thinking about a lot of situations. They're not going to be telling us what they're thinking about. All they're doing is literally thinking about what's going to happen next fight. Also, when it comes to like when you're holding your Shatter and stuff, that's fine. I get that you've been holding it for so long, but we need to talk about that after the fight, so I can say, hey, we held Shatter for so long, they don't even really have a shield for anything. We should be using Shatter pretty much every time it's off cooldown. If you use it freely like that, then we end up kind of wasting it because we grab and then we use Shatter and we didn't have Shatter for next fight and we could have comboed that with something else. All these situations. So try not to use your own, especially in this lobby and stuff, try not to use your own ultimates just for free. You always want to double check and make sure, because like you may not be thinking about what's happening next fight. Our shot caller is going to be thinking, okay, I use grab this fight. If that doesn't work, we can Shatter next fight or something like that. So keep that in mind for everybody here in the mentality and stuff like that. Other than that, that was pretty much it. Target calling was okay. It was a little bit better. Like I said, we still got a lot of people talking during the target calling phase. I need you to keep repeating targets over and over and over again. I need you to be annoying as fuck. Like right now, you're probably at like out of 1 to 10, you're probably at like a 5. Okay, I need you to be doing it way more frequently and way more like dominantly. Okay, so every time you're calling a target, anytime, like we're running anytime Ryan goes to start swinging on somebody, because if Ryan drops his hammer or something, he's the least mobile and closest range hero on our team, or Zarya. As soon as they start swinging on something, just call that target. Simple as that. There's a couple times where you're calling focus like the Ashe and stuff. That's fine. There's a couple people that can do that, but if there's things in front of us, let's try focusing on that. And then I can deal with the Ashe, or somebody else can deal with the Ashe, or something like that. And then, yeah, go ahead.
That's like what I was saying. Like, yeah, we have our both of our tanks and like not Ana, but like forward, and we have the DPS in the back because we have double sniper. But there's 2 like above or behind that just keep picking us off like nearly every fight, and we have no like way of like defending that because we can't like go up there, Yeah,
and that's good that you're calling that out.
Like my
but
only problem.
When you was doing it, it was during the phase of when our alt tracker and shot caller needed to talk and make these plays.
Well, so, I know, but that was the time that we needed to switch. Was when we all were dead.
Ideally, you will have enough time. But right now, I definitely, right now, I don't care about the people on the high ground. Like, I want you to get that information out. That's really good. But right now, I need the speed of our shot caller and alt tracker getting done as fast as possible. So ideally, our alt tracker should be done talking before we get the last person spawned in. And then when we're coming out of spawn, our shot caller should already have the play of what we're doing before we're walking out of spawn. By the time we're walking out of spawn, maybe take a couple steps there, a couple meters there. Before we even start doing damage or getting damage taken to us, our shot caller should already have the plan done. Now, during that phase, we have about maybe 8 seconds or so. That's when you're going to be talking. because now our shot caller is done talking, our alt tracker's done talking, everything's done. That's when you want to try doing it. So I appreciate the information. So definitely keep doing that, but make sure you're letting the important roles like that get that done first, especially in like this type of lobby and stuff where everything's kind of slow. All right, so we can do one more if you guys are wanting to do one more. If you guys got time, we can do one more. If not, we can head out.
I'm good to do.
All right, is everybody good for one more?
Yep.
Okay, so this last one, I'm not going to be your training wheels. I'm not going to be telling you guys when to do stuff. I'm going to rely completely all on you to rotate the comms correctly, call things out all the time, stuff like that. And then after that, I'll give you guys an analysis on stuff that we need to do. So overall, like I said, everybody's doing a really good job, especially during the target phase, calling stuff out and everything. These are definitely things that needs to happen. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and cue it for the last one.
By the way, you know how you're talking about like calling out the Ash no one could focus at? Like what's it called? After we got like the first choke, like this area, I noticed no one could really focus it since I was basically the only one able to shoot at her. That's why I just stopped calling her out and focus targets that everyone could handle.
Yeah.
Like an Echo at ground level or a Reinhardt. That's why I mainly didn't focus her. I mainly didn't call it out, but I was personally focusing her myself.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So that's good that you called that. But now you got to think of it took you a minute and a half to make that decision. You should come out of spawn and see that, hey, they're running this hero. Look at our team comp. Okay, I can't call that target. So it's great that you made that decision. It's just slow on that decision making process. So like good job, but speed it up. So
because the shot caller could also just say, like, we could have walked around the right side. We could have walked all the way up the steps.
And our shot caller can also say, hey, we need a Ash. You need to focus the Ash or whatever. Change our playstyle. All right, so Durags, it is your call. Durags, are we playing or are we leaving?
Can we leave?
Yep.
I prefer actual practice, like comp maps.
It's Durags' call. He's our shot caller.
Sure, we can leave. I mean,
okay.
People don't care.
This wouldn't be a good last game.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, every now and then it comes up, so it's all on a shot call if we want to play it or not. But yeah, like I said, all you guys are doing really good. I'm really impressed with everybody's communication during the target calling phase, giving out information and stuff like that. One thing that everybody does need to do for the two roles is just listening to your team and stuff. So that's why the music is off and stuff like that. All you gotta do is listen. Alright, so Durags, what are you doing here?
What are we running?
I like to run. We could run Hog and Orisa here. Let's go Hog, Orisa, then let's go Mercy.
Do you want me playing on point with my Orisa, or do you want me playing on the right? Or is this village? Never mind.
This is
village. This is village? Oh, I thought this was
Sanctum.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not Sanctum.
So then, I kind of want to play Monkey here, but I know Monkey's really weak.
Call the comp.
Yeah,
Alright, let's go Monkey and let's go. Let's keep the Hog. Keep the Hog. Instead of Zen, can we get Lucio?
What's the DPS?
7 seconds left.
And then DPS. DPS. Let's go like Tracer and Ash.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
Are we taking high ground or low ground?
No, let's go.
My business, my rules.
Alright, good luck to you guys. I'm not gonna be talking to you guys. I'll just be talking normal.
The ball.
Focus ball.
Mercy on
point. He's right.
Yeah, the Tracer high ground.
Focus jump. Focus break.
Ball on your Ash. Oh, dude.
Mercy?
I can't believe I missed that freaking dynamite 17 times like that.
I'm low health. I gotta heal.
Focus Mercy.
You're down 2 right now?
Push on a point.
Break one.
Break one.
You're down 2 again.
You're still 1.
There's a ball behind.
Break.
Monkey has ult, Ball has ult, the Junkrat for sure is ult.
Alright, let's push in. Let's push in anyway. What a guy!
Okay, jump. Right, monkey behind all. Monkey. Stand still.
Monkey on your ass.
Monkey.
Monkey's on. Mercy's rising.
I have Valve.
Ash is Mercy's gone.
Monkey's ball behind.
Junk's on.
Mercy.
Break point. Break.
I have Bob. Do you want Bob?
It's only 2 people.
Up your ash. Up your ash.
Good point. I'm fast.
Mercy.
He's higher.
Mercy.
I have hoggle. Should I ult it?
Mercy, to the right, monkey. To the right point, Mercy.
This is not
Monkey has Tracer drizzle. Lucy's gonna be.
Tracer half.
Tracer's down.
Monkey.
I heal.
I'm gonna pulse bomb. Oh, that was terrible.
Come back. I got you.
Ball.
I'm kind of fucked here.
Someone else go target you, Tracer dead.
I have monkey or hoggle.
I have Bob here.
Oh yeah, use your ult.
Do you want Bob? I'm dead. Your ash is gone.
Mercy trying to res the junk.
Mercy. Focus.
Ball one. Stuck.
That was not in the plan.
Focus monkey point.
Lucio.
Nice.
Tracer's behind the door. Can I have some heals? Any heals?
Tracer.
They're not doing too bad.
Ball. Fuck ball.
You guys be careful on that flank. Don't be very cautious about it.
Monkey's gonna ult. Tracer's ult.
I have
Junk
Bob
probably
here.
is tired.
Junk.
You want
half.
Junk
Bob?
Junk gone.
Ball.
Lucio's half.
Tracer.
Let's back to point.
Junk's one.
We back out. Oh,
Are you sure?
What the hell? Our ass is popping up. Never mind. We can just go back in.
Yeah.
Monkey's ball behind.
Ball behind.
Up your ash.
Monkey low. Monkey one.
Up your ash, please. I still have Bob. Do you want Bob?
Use Bob on point.
Got it.
Do something.
I have pulse bomb. Do you want me to use it?
Yeah, use back some.
Mercy along the behind. She can die.
Up your
Junk.
Mercy.
Mercy.
It's 90%. This is the last fight, I think.
Tracer behind.
I can use pulse bomb.
Nothing
It's
wrong
fine.
with a little
yeah,
You can use sound barrier. There you go.
Let me know if you want me to use pulse bomb.
Oh yeah, use pulse on Mercy. Pulse
Monkey
on
low.
Mercy if you can.
Big.
Mercy on
down.
point. Use pulse on. Oh, never mind. You gotta run. You're good.
Focus monkey.
Monkey's half. Monkey's low.
Up your Tracer.
He's healing.
Break the shield.
Mercy low. Mercy super low.
I'm dead.
Mercy's down.
Good rest.
Junk.
Focus Mercy. There you go.
Mercy's down.
Tracer.
Get the ball.
Focus Tracer.
I'm
I don't
dead.
see Tracer.
Tracer.
Where is she at?
First round.
Nice.
One. Score.
God.
Yeah, that was
I
just
cannot
a
aim with
constant
that.
stagger.
Yeah.
Do you want me to scream louder for target calls?
No, that was good. I thought it was good.
Or what's the comp? Call it.
I like the Orisa Hog, Lucio. Instead of a Mercy, could we get a Moira?
Yeah.
Moira does some good heals.
Are you in the same DPS still?
DPS.
5,
I like
4,
Ash.
3.
I'm gonna be on the right side trying
You
to.
want me to say Tracer?
Yeah, you can say Tracer. I think Tracer's good.
It's not my choice, it's your choice.
It's all right side.
He's looking for boop.
Look at crane out.
Nice.
Let's go. Alright, let's push the
Yeah, it's
point.
a junk. Ana. I'm slept. I need help.
Two.
Ana no sleep. Ana no nade.
Hey, Ana, junk right side.
Everyone hog.
Hugs half. Hugs up.
Are you probably going behind the way?
Yeah.
Great.
Come on. Where's McCree at?
Heal your Tracer.
Alright, let's push. Back to point.
Come on, ball. Focus ball.
Get ball.
Ball.
Ball's half. Ball's low.
Hog no hook. Hog no breather. Junk's gonna have fire first. And Ana's gonna have the
Ball behind. Focus ball point. Ball point.
Much better.
Junk. Everyone junk.
I'm boop. I got
I gotta
Junk's half.
Junk.
Junk's one.
Heal for your Tracer.
Now
I have hog up. Should I use it?
No, don't use it.
Look at junk. Needs some value.
Help your Ash if you can, please.
Yeah, feel for that.
I have Bob. Do you want Bob here?
Your Tracer slept.
All on point.
Oh, fuck.
here it comes.
Focus ball.
We didn't alt track. We didn't know what alts are using. We didn't do anything
I
here.
have cold for this if I need you.
Alright, push back to point for oh, I got
I got so tired.
I have hog up. Should I use it?
no.
I said die at point.
I popped it right when I said that.
Back up, we lost.
Tracer, can you play? Are you any good at Doom?
Call it, whatever. What do you want? What do you want?
Doom, if you're any good at Doom, play Doom.
I got you.
Okay, I don't think the Moira's working in my opinion because everybody's spread around.
Switch
Yeah,
on to
I'm
like
not-
an Ana or a BAP. Whichever you want.
Mercy might be good.
Or Mercy.
Checking in.
Whoever you're comfortable with.
I just stick it on. I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, I have Bob here.
Engaging the enemy.
Ana's gonna definitely nano.
Smoke
And then hog has hog.
Oh, how about your Doom? How about your Doom on the right side?
Yep. They're low though.
I can
They're
hear
half
you.
HP both of them. Focus Doom.
Doom's down.
Anti.
Hog anti.
Call targets. I'm not there.
Hog no heal.
Don't get
Let's
booped off by
not
the ball.
play near the.
Focus hog. Moira.
One's anti.
In the hole.
Oh,
Moira,
sorry.
Moira. Moira 1.
Where is she at?
Enemy contact.
Okay, see. I see her. 3,
Doom is
2,
stuck behind.
1. Oh my god! I got booped.
Why did we say 3, 2, 1? We didn't do anything.
I got booped when I shot.
Alright, come back, yeah.
Tire. There's a ball.
I can
And
go right
coalescence.
behind it when we push.
We should use Bob and Superstar.
Yeah,
Ball's
Bob,
left side, by the way. Wait.
Bob this fight?
Alright, let's push the point.
Ball anti.
On trap.
No, I throw him Bob.
You need to touch.
Somebody touch.
I can touch the Bob.
Do something.
Come on, Auto.
Hog purple.
Auto down.
Get ball one. Doom's in the back. Don't let him get
Yeah.
a pick.
Focus Doom. Poke Doom. Doom 1.
Uh,
Doom down.
Healing in hand.
I'm with you, Anna.
I have I have nano on me.
Moira down.
Huge
Nice.
pick.
I'm gonna ult this fight. Should I?
Yeah, I'm gonna hog ult.
Nano boost administered.
Mercy's starting for us.
Ball
No.
point.
Get ball. Body blocking ball. Don't get beat.
Ball's down.
Stick that on my.
Mercy's half. Mercy's half. Mercy's one.
Moira. Tracer.
Dead.
Okay. So, let's go over y'all's last thing here. So first off, decent job on team compositions and stuff like that. You guys, I think the team comp was okay. There's a couple times where we was kind of the pathing and kind of where we needed to play was kind of bad. So like telling us like, especially not necessarily on Village so much, but more so on that Sanctum. I think it's Sanctum. Anyways, last map that we played. Yeah, that map. Holding on point and telling us like not telling us to push forward into the choke where you can really get an advantage is really going to hinder us pretty bad there. So the pathing there is going to be kind of bad to set up. So you want to let your team know like we need to push into the chokes and stuff like that. Also, you're not really telling us when the like sometimes we're not planning for fights too. There's a time where like I think it was at 68%. We got a full reset in. They didn't do anything. We didn't really alt track. We didn't tell what else we're gonna be using. I had Bob for 4 minutes. Like a lot of these things, like we're not really doing anything. And then I'm not too sure on what we called when we was at 86% and they was at 90, or when they was retaking. So we was at 80% and I think they was at 12 and they was retaking. And it was almost overtime for us. But we used Hog Ult, and I think Hog, you said that was an accident. I thought you or something like that. But we also
I
used
popped it and then they said don't use it right as I was pressing the button.
Okay, so did you? So
they said pop it. I popped it and then they changed their mind. And
that was my bad.
Okay, so like one thing, and this goes for everybody, because I assume most people here don't know how to King of the Hill works. If you're at 100% or 99% and the enemy team's at 0%, you're probably going to lose the next fight because they're going to have almost all 6 ultimates and you're not going to have very many left. So the idea there is to literally let them use ultimates. You lose the fight and then you lose the next one because they're still going to have ultimates. All you literally have to do is wait for you to get 5 ultimates back online when it gets to 80 something % for them. And then now it'll be in your turn to use all 6 ultimates and they won't have anything left. So just kind of keep that in mind, do-rags. And this is kind of stuff that you need to be doing for your play. But this is something for everybody to kind of understand as well. And not necessarily using ults when it's 99 to 0%. The only time you'd ever want to invest extra an ultimate into a fight where it's 99 to 0 is if you get a kill and it's a good like a kill that's going to mean something. Like if you get a kill on a tracer, okay, like maybe you can try to do something there, but you would still want to be hesitant on doing stuff like that. So just keep that in mind when it comes to using ults toward the end there. All right, target calling was a little bit better. One thing that I will say is like with that first comp that we was playing, how we're all kind of spread out and stuff like that, you gotta give locations after a couple seconds. Cause you're calling out targets and I'm like, all right, where? And I'm like, I don't know where the fuck you're shooting. So always call out locations of stuff after a couple seconds of calling, because you're like, oh, focus ball, focus this person, focus this. Where are they at? So try to give out locations, especially in a comp where we are kind of all spread out and kind of like we're running Monkey, we're running the Tracer, we're running Ash, we're running Mercy, like we're running stuff where we're super spread out. So we all need to know where we're going to be focusing stuff down. Also, please stop saying I need help or blah blah blah, because I don't know who you are, so I can't really help you. So always talk in third person. That's going to be something that you're going to learn with time and stuff like that, playing with random people. Alt tracking, I don't know how often we did alt track. I didn't hear very many alt tracking things come in after fights were over.
The first fight, it was I ult tracked after the first engagement because they did group up, but then there just wasn't a regrouping after that.
Yeah, that one that I kind of get that. But if it's gonna be like where they're just kind of hard feeding and it's just continued, yeah, fine, okay, you can't really do anything. So one thing I will say is like if you are alt tracking and you're like and it is kind of staggered and stuff like that. All right, so if it is kind of staggered like that, a lot of times all you gotta do is just sprinkle that stuff in on when they're getting close to the ultimate. So if you think, oh, they're going to have ult this, go ahead and say, hey, watch out for this ult this fight, or watch out for this next ult, or watch out for blah, blah, blah. That's all you got to say. Just mention that, all right? But other than that, I'll give you guys a little pro tip as well for something that I've seen that I want to mention. So this goes for everybody, mainly for supports and tanks. But if you are playing against a ball and he uses mines, and you guys win the fight, or if you guys are losing the fight, either way, but there's mines there and you're just kind of waiting to regroup. As tanks, you do not throw a shield to clear the mines. It is like a huge no-no for that. What you need to do,
your body.
Yes, you need to throw your body into it so your healers can get ult charge. That's how you need to do it. Because the Hammond will not get ult charge from the mines for his next mine. So whenever the mines
they got ult charge.
No, unless they change something recently or something like that, you do not get ults from other ults. I think maybe the only one that you might get might be Grav, and maybe May might as well. But I know Shatter does not last long enough to do anything, and all the other ones don't get you ult charge for ult. So just kind of keep that in mind. Whenever there are mines on the ground, tanks, you go on the hill, or you go on the mines, and let your supports heal you. All right. So does anybody have any questions or anything like that?